Hello everyone, I've got Weekly Mutation number 22 for you. Sorry this took me so long to get out. I got a little preoccupied with Gears of War 4, and I hope to continue to make more Gears of War 4 videos. It's a game I really enjoy ever since Gears of War 1 came out, but sorry it took me so long to get to this. Anyway, diplomatic immunity. They say the best offense is a good defense. Not only can Amon's forces evade and absorb your attacks, but the Void also provides them with impervious defense against a single army. You and your ally must coordinate your assault in order to secure victory. So this is on the Oblivion Express co-op mission. And the first mutation is polarity. Each enemy unit is immune to either your units or your allies' units. The second, evasive maneuvers. Enemy units teleport a short distance away upon taking damage. And the third, barrier. Enemy units gain a temporary shield upon the first time they take damage. So once again, there's 185,000 bonus experience possible by beating on brutal difficulty. And I'm going to quickly show you my mastery skill allocation. So in the first power set, we've got structure, life, and shields. Everything's in that. The second power set, we've got repair, beam, healing rate. Everything's in that. And then the third power set, we've got everything in chrono boost efficiency. Okay, so my teammate is going to be Artanis, and what our strategy is going to be is to use, I'm going to use all static defense. I'm going to throw down a bunch of photon cannons and shield batteries at the start of the match, and then eventually throw down Kadar and monoliths once we get more resources. And then Artanis, ERC piece or ERC piece, is going to just build a ton of Tempests, and at the start of the mission we'll build some Zealots so that we can kill those units, because he's got to have some type of unit next to my defenses in order for us to actually make their units not immune to damage. So we want to be able to kill those units rather than having them pile up. So really important to stick together with your teammate on this one. And if you have one player doing static defenses, just make sure that whoever has the static defenses, you keep your units next to those static defenses. And I've seen this this Weekly Mutation actually work with Karax and Swan, where you have two static defense players, and well, all you got to do there is just build all your static defenses next to each other, and it'll work just fine. But I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds to beat this mutation. And, it took me a couple times to actually get it. This is probably my fourth, I believe this is my fourth try getting it. It's not the hardest mutation ever, but it was definitely a little bit difficult, and I had to actually find a good teammate in order to get this good. You really have to use teamwork on this. Teamwork's essential. I mean, it is co-op mission, but sometimes you can kind of solo these Weekly Mutations without having to work with your teammate. But yep, they made this one essential. You can't even kill the opponent unless your teammate does damage too. So you gotta work together. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm taking over my probe. I'm going to build a pylon at the expansion, and I'm going to build a couple photon cannons to start taking out the rocks. Then my teammate, he's already walking over, or she is already walking over a zealot to start doing damage to these rocks as well. And then eventually I'm going to start building my little outpost where the first train and the first wave of units is going to be coming from. And that little outpost is going to be just made of photon cannons and shield batteries. So here we go. Still working on the economy. I would like to get that first upgrade from the Solar Forge, which is Solar Efficiency 1, so I can start producing more Solarite, and then once I have more of the Solarite, I can use my abilities more frequently. And eventually we will like to get up to Solar Efficiency level 3. And then we're going to throw down the last photon cannon here, and for right now I'm just going to leave it at, and I'm going to spam you guys with "you have not enough minerals" over and over. But yeah, I'm just going to leave this little outpost with 2 photon cannons and 2 shield batteries, and then that should be good enough to take out the first wave with my teammates' couple of zealots to help defend. And then, yep, like I said, I'm going to try and get Solar Forge, Solar Efficiency ability first, and then eventually I'm going to get those upgrades from the Forge itself, and there's 3 upgrades there, and I'll get to those in a second when I actually start getting those upgrades. But right now, here comes the first wave, and both of us have our expansions up. I really urge you guys to get your expansions, no matter what you're playing. I mean, some mutations may be different, but getting your expansions right away is really important. I mean, the first waves aren't ever really that bad, except for that one hybrid mutation that we had played. But yeah, the first mutations aren't. I mean, you should be able to finish them off with some, light amount of defense. So really focus on getting your expansions up, because you need that economy to really build, if you're playing as Karax, build these defenses fast, or if you're going to build Tempest with Artanis, you really just have to have that income. Otherwise, you won't be able to afford a big enough army or big enough amount of defenses. So I'm throwing down, so after we got the expansions, now I'm throwing down some more static defenses right around the train tracks. You can't build right on the train tracks, so I'm just building around them. And then I believe my teammate is just going to keep on stacking up Zealots for now, but we're going to end up running into Air Terran, so he's going to have to switch over to those Tempests pretty soon here. And now I just had enough resources to finally get solar efficiency, and I decided to also research Fortitude, which let's see, fortification barrier, I mean, and that allows shield barriers to put a barrier around defenses that absorbs up to 100 damage for 10 seconds. Anyways, I clicked down solar efficiency 1, then I clicked chrono wave, and then I got fortification barrier all really quickly. And the reason I threw down another upgrade right away is because, chrono wave, that greatly increases the upgrade speed of whatever you're building, or the production speed of whatever you're building or warping in, that is. So I just wanted to get those 2 upgrades right away, and now they're already done, so I don't even have to worry about that anymore. And as you can see, this photon cannon right here already has a barrier around it, so that fortification barrier is a really helpful skill to get for those shield batteries. And then now I'm going to start throwing down, well, yeah, I've already got the gateways, but okay, start throwing down some more photon cannons, and then I want to start filling up the supply line for my expansion, because right now it's empty, so really got to make sure to get that. And then as soon as we got that, as soon as we got that filled up, then we can really hopefully start building those Kadarin monoliths, because those are essential to the defense. Alright, now I'm going to get enhanced targeting. That is, allows your defenses, your photon cannons, shield batteries, and Kadarin monoliths to gain +2 range. And shield batteries, that's not the most important thing for shield batteries, but the photon cannons and the Kadarin monoliths, that's pretty darn good, because, I guess in my opinion, I mean, some of you may have differing opinions about it, but I mean, having a higher range allows your defenses, which are static, they can't move around, allows your defenses to attack units sooner, and it allows them, if they're starting to get away from you, for example these trains, the further they get away, the longer your defenses are going to continue to be able to attack the train without your probes having to build new units. So I definitely think it's very important to get that. Something else I wanted to point out really quick, a little bit ago I got the cybernetics core, and yeah, you gotta make sure to get that, because otherwise you won't be able to get your Twilight Council. And anyway, once you get your cybernetics core, you can start getting more upgrades from your solar forge, like solar efficiency level 2, I believe. I might be wrong on that. Maybe it's not solar efficiency level 2. It could be the solar flare upgrade for, maybe not, phase detonation. It might be the phase detonation upgrade, which upgrades your orbital strike to stun enemy units in an area for 1.5 seconds. It could be that upgrade after you get your cybernetics core, but anyway, you need the cybernetics core to get the Twilight Council, and Twilight Council, that will allow you to get, that's what allows you to get solar efficiency level 2 from the solar forge. And then once you get the Twilight Council, you have to get the robotics bay or the starport, and then get not the robotics bay, get a robotics facility, and then you can get the robotics bay, and that will allow you to get solar efficiency level 3. You have to have the robotics bay or the upgrade after the starports, whatever that one's called. I'll probably fill in a little post here, someone can post in the comments for me what that one's called. But yeah, after you get the starport, then there's a building which you can get further upgrades for the starport at. Anyway, or fleet beacon, that's what it's called. Yeah, the fleet beacon. You have to get a fleet beacon or a robotics bay in order to get solar efficiency level 3. I'm going to go with the robotics facility, then the robotics bay route. That's what will work out fine for us in this playthrough. And then my teammate is also being very helpful and already has a ton of Tempest, but is throwing down photon cannons of his own also. And you know, whatever, I mean, if my teammate has extra minerals, might as well throw that down. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so you get cybernetics core, and then you get advanced repair beam. So once you get advanced repair beam, that'll allow you to start reconstructing health, or it doesn't reconstruct shields, but any health hit points that Protoss units have, or for example mechanical units, it will repair that health. It's pretty much like a medic for machine type units or armored type units, not bio units. I don't think Terran, like for example Marines, can actually be healed by the reconstruction or the reconstruction beam. But yeah, pretty much any of my defenses or any of my teammates' Tempests are going to be able to be healed from that reconstruction beam. So that's pretty helpful. So having, you know, that additional target to be healed, that's pretty essential. And we're just going to let the bonus objective get away, because, you know, this, if we went for the bonus objective, I'm not sure that we would actually be able to beat this mutation at this point. I'm sure you can if you played this a couple times more than we have and really got comfortable, you would be able to get the bonus objective. But with so many units just constantly coming, and you really have to focus on being next to your teammates, it's a little hard to get that bonus objective while there's still main objectives coming. So I would just, if I was you, I would just let the bonus objective go. It's not really worth that much experience. And I just got solar efficiency level 2 from the Solar Forge, and I'm chrono boosting the Solar Forge so I can get it quicker. And then I also, from the Forge, I got shield battery, or not shield battery, shields upgrade level 1, and that'll upgrade the shields of all my defenses and all my buildings. So that's really important to get. And I also chrono boosted that Forge. And then right now I'm just throwing down as many photon cannons at the bottom as I can. The top's already being attacked, and in order to make sure that my teammate can actually damage all of these units and we can kill these units, I used a Solar Lance ability, because that has that little bit of a spread to it. It's allowing me to make sure that my teammate is going to be able to do damage and kill those units at the same time. So what I'm trying to get at is the Solar Lances, it does area damage to multiple units, and that way it's just all of those units are going to get hit by my Solar Lances versus my Orbital Strikes, which have a smaller area damage. And I just really wanted to make sure that those battle cruisers were died, because there were so many of them. So Solar Lance is a good way of doing that. And if your teammate is attacking at the same time, I mean, those Solar Lances do a lot of damage. They do about 200 damage every... Yeah, they do 200 damage every single swipe you do. And if you get a Solar Flare upgrade from the Solar Forge, that will actually add an extra 200 damage over 10 seconds, because it burns the ground, and any enemy unit that walks over that burning will get damaged by that as well. So that's a pretty helpful upgrade to get from the Solar Forge, and I advise getting that. At this point, it was actually looking a little bit scary. I should have moved my probes, but these enemy Terran units end up killing all of my probes, which kind of sucked. So I threw down my Purifier Beam, but it was kind of silly. I shouldn't have actually done that, because now my Purifier Beam is completely wasted, because my teammate didn't have any enemy units here. I should have set down a beacon sooner for my teammate to spawn some units over there. But anyway, he finally spawned in some of these Dragoons, and now they're able to start killing these units. And he's got some Tempest over here too, but I completely wasted my Purifier Beam. So yeah, you guys want to make sure to be really careful when throwing that down, because I mean, it's got a 300-second cooldown, and that's a long time, especially in a mutation or weekly mutation. So got to be really careful about that. But so he got over there finally and threw down some units. We got those killed, and right now I'm just trying to focus on getting some more defenses up, The bottom's looking pretty scary right now because I don't have very many defense. I mean, I've got 3 Kadarin monoliths at the top tracks, but at the bottom, I mean, I've got 3 shield batteries. I don't even have any photon cannons around them. And I've got, towards the back though, I do have some photon cannons, but yeah, I do not have enough down right here. So was getting a little scared, but my teammate starts coming over with these Tempests, and that's when it starts to look a little bit better. And as you can see, that hybrid actually has a shield above its head. So these photon cannons that I have aren't even going to be able to do any damage to it until my teammate decides to start attacking them with his Tempest, which he does here now in a second. But yeah, every now and then there's going to be a stray unit, and my teammate's going to be focused on something else. So my defenses are attacking this unit, but it just gets to stay alive and keep attacking because my teammate hasn't done any damage yet. So that's one of the frustrating things. If you aren't, I mean, so many things are happening at the same time on this mutation. So eventually you are going to run into some units, stray units, that are just going to be pests, being annoying pests at your base. So got to be careful of that. So I just threw down the robotics bay, and now I just gotta wait for another, I think, 60, maybe 45 seconds for that to finish. And as soon as that's finished, I'm gonna start getting solar efficiency level 3, and then I will really have a good income of that solar rate, and I'll be able to throw down as many of those orbital strikes or solar lances as need be, so we can clear out these armies faster. We are in a bit of a sticky situation right now. I definitely would say so. So I already said that the bottom static defenses that I had up were looking a little scary. Well, now the enemy army has completely cleared that out. So I have nothing there. All that we have is my teammate's Tempest that can move down there. So that was a little scary. I am going to eventually move out quite a few probes and try to take out these remaining battle cruisers, and then I'll try to kill whatever else that's down here, for example this turret and the hybrids that are going to show up. But then the hybrid kills my probe. So my advice is to grab about, when you run into a lot of these hybrids, because they can just automatically lift up your probes and kill them, is to grab about 4 or 5 probes and then move out, because that way you can better ensure that if one of them gets picked up, not all of them are going to die. So here comes my teammate's Tempest, and now we're going to start actually clearing out this army, and he's going to go after this train, and somehow, I don't know how, he's going to actually end up killing this train. He really, I don't know, those Tempests are so darn strong, but I need to do damage to this train before we can actually kill it. So I finally got 1 photon cannon down, and then I threw down some orbital strikes, or actually I think that was my teammate, but yeah, I got 1 photon cannon down and was able to do a couple hits, and that made that photon cannon vulnerable to damage. And then here I am throwing down some orbital strikes to actually make sure that these Terran units can die too. So my teammates try and do damage to all these units at the same time, but if I don't do damage to them, like I said before, they're not going to die. So if anything, if you don't have any defenses up, throw down a couple orbital, or just an orbital strike on each unit that you see. That way you'll enable it to die. I mean, even if you do damage, they still are going to be able to teleport, which is really annoying, and gain that temporary shield, so you got to be careful of that. But yeah, as you can see, that hybrid right there that's attacking my photon cannon, that's one of those stray units I was talking about. It's just going to be able to keep hitting my photon cannon over and over because my teammate's not attacking it right now. And my photon cannon, I'm pretty sure it can attack it. I don't even know why it's not attacking. Maybe it's not attacking because it realizes it is immune. So yeah, my photon cannon isn't even doing anything because it can't actually kill it. So what a bummer. But as I probably could let my teammate know, but there's so much other things to worry about right now. I'm not going to make it the main priority. But what we are going to start doing is my teammate threw down solar bombardment and I threw down my purifier beam for this train at the same time. And now things are, I mean, that train's got a lot of health, but things are looking pretty good because we cleared out pretty much all of those units right from the get-go. And as soon as my teammate gets his Tempest over here, then we'll be able to really clear this out. And these Kadarins, keep in mind, Kadarin monoliths, they do a lot of damage. They are very strong, so whenever you can afford to put them down, get them down, and just completely bury them in shield batteries. I don't have very many shield batteries around mine, but they aren't strong. I mean, they can die pretty quick. So throw as many shield batteries as you can around them to make sure that the shields stay up and they stay alive. And if you don't have very many defenses taking damage, your reconstruction beam is going to really assist in that. For example, this Kadarin monolith right now. But yeah, you just throw down lots of shield batteries. I honestly don't think you can go wrong with throwing down too many shield batteries, because you have so many shield batteries that your defense doesn't even get to its health. I mean, nothing wrong with that. You may use a lot of minerals on it, but I love shield batteries. They're absolutely awesome. And now all we have left is one train. So we've gotten all of our upgrades, and I don't think I got shields level 3, but we pretty much got all the upgrades from the Solar Forge, and we got all the upgrades from the Forge to upgrade our defenses. And oh, I think I even got one upgrade from the Twilight Council that I didn't mention, and that upgrade allows shield batteries to, I believe it is, restore an extra 200 shields or something like that, or yeah, increases the energy regeneration of shield batteries by 200%. So we got rapid recharging from the Twilight Council. That's one other upgrade you want to make sure to get. But yeah, back to what we were just doing on this playthrough. So there was 2 trains coming, and we had 8 out of the 9 trains taken down. Even though there's 2 main objectives on the screen, we only had to kill 1 more. So just focus on 1 train. You don't have to worry about both of them. And that was it. So we were able to end up finishing that weekly mutation by just killing the last train. But back to the upgrade I was talking about, rapid recharging. That increases energy regeneration of shield batteries by 200%. That's from the Twilight Council. Make sure to get that upgrade as well. And then if you can, try to get all shield upgrades from the Forge, levels 1 through 3. That'll just further ensure that your defenses stay alive as long as possible. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm sorry it took so long once again, but thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.